Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back here with MKG Parent Coach. Yes, Merri Guggisberg joining us here as our parent coach, life coach. She does it all for your child, your adolescent, for you, for your family. She's here joining us again live on the show. Welcome back.
Thank you. Great to be with you. Good to see you too, Jill.
Same here. Pleasure. For those new to us, tell us a little bit about what you do at MKG Parent Coaching.
Yeah, thank you. So MKG Parent Coach is helping parents bring mindfulness, kindness, and gratitude to every parenting situation. If I had to sum it up in one line, I help parents have deeper connections with their kiddos.
Beautiful. And how do we reach you?
Yeah, so you can find me on social, which would be Facebook and Instagram by MKG Parent Coach. I do have a private Facebook group that I would love to have a connection call. You can make that connection on my website, MKG Parent Coach. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I have videos on YouTube as well, all by MKG Parent Coach.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. For today, I know we're going to talk a little bit about, well, relationships always the thing, but it's friendship in particular, right? This time we're going to move on over to the word friendship and what it means, our joys with it, our challenges with it, and all that comes in between.
Yeah. So what I like in empowering parents is how to have even conversations around their kiddos' friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And we start, so is your son 8, 9?
8 and 6. Yep.
8 and 6. Thank you.
Yep.
So, okay, when you're talking to your kiddos, how do you what qualities, what makes a good friend? So it's having that first question. How do you think your boys would answer?
Someone who's nice to me that wants to play with me.
Yep.
Someone who's nice. Simple. Nice.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then we can just peel that back. Well, define to me what's nice.
Someone who's not nice, who's not a bully, who shares, who is friendly, who wants to have fun, who likes the same things I do. Yeah, you could totally break it down. Mm-hmm. Doesn't tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So giving them language sometimes is like, okay, nice. Well, honey, this is how I think of nice is, does that friend make you feel good? When you hang out with them, do they make you feel good? Is that someone that supports you or takes your idea and says, oh, this is all mine, right? I mean, do they support you?
Yeah.
And I love that you said that they might say, they like to do the same things I do, but you know what? It's okay if they don't. Because now I get to learn what you're into and you get to learn what I'm into. Mm-hmm. And that just helps me become a better person too.
I agree. You're right. Thank you. So friendship, let's talk about friendship. Remember that old song?
Yes. Yeah. So some other things that our kiddos might say is, I have a friend that they always talk over me. I'm trying to tell something and they're like, no, you got to do it my way. So a quality might be that you're looking for a friend who listens.
Yeah.
And trustworthy. If you share something in confidence that they're not splurting it to everyone, right? And friendship, I like to remind kiddos too, is nice means, you know what? It's a two-way street. We're both going to do some give and take. Today, we're going to play the game that you want to play, but you know what? Tomorrow, we're going to play what I want to play.
Yeah.
And it is that give and take. Yeah, so that's one of the starting questions when I have encouraged parents, and we'll get to some activities even to help really hone this out.
All right. No, what other qualities are good to find in a friend though? Do you want to share some of those? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, let's also talk about why we have friends.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm asking questions that I would really encourage parents to just, you're driving to the sports event, getting your kid to practice. Hey pal, who do you hang out with at this activity and why do you have that friend? And that gives you a little insight to their confidence, their security, their wonder, but really it's also who's in your circle. Who is that person that you can go to when, things are really challenging and Mom, I know you're here, and who else is in that circle of care? So in challenging times, who do we go to, right? Tonight I just need to have a girls' night because And that's okay. That's why we have friends. Friends also help lift our mood.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I get energized when I know I get to go have girls' night versus, here's my long to-do list because the house chores never end, right? Um, it also a sense of belonging. I think
True.
as a society, we've just become research shows we're a lonely society. We spend so much time on these things that it does make us more lonely unless we're using this thing in a way of connecting. So friends, what you can't see is I'm pretending I'm holding
True.
a phone or a
Phone. Yeah.
tablet or something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's that opportunity to just, am I using my social media as a way of connecting or
Or
isolating? And what we really
yeah.
want to do is encourage our kiddos, use it as a way of connecting.
Yeah, because it could also be very damaging. So helpful, but so damaging. It's like we don't
Yeah,
even know the effects, right? Because it's a different generation.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, and
Yes,
then with the pandemic, it was everything everyone
yeah,
did was just be online. And it's like, how is that going to affect us as the kids now coming up as teenagers into their adolescence? It's like,
right,
yeah, it's
right,
very tricky.
right.
And
It
who is
is.
your real friend? Because then, speaking of friendship, you think you have online friends, and then they're tricking you, and you don't know. It's just, boy, oh
Yeah,
boy, the friendship connection of and the conversation, I should say, can keep going and going.
yeah, yeah. And it's easy if you and I don't see eye to eye to just forget a friend. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter if it's an in-person friend or a virtual, someone that you met and you're staying connected because of social media
Yep.
connections. It's helping us as parents now. I want to help guide my kiddo to be okay in those
Hmm.
uncomfortable, be okay with conflict. And I have a quick story. So, my daughter, when she was in middle school, back and forth, right? Back and forth in technology. You can see the moving from regular conversation to all caps to exclamation points to, her throwing her phone across the room. And finally, she's like, this is silly. This is one of the closest friends. And she did this. She picked up the phone and called the friend rather than the two of them just having this barrier that keeps getting higher and higher. So, having that, treasuring that friend enough to be okay with, I want to learn your side. Help me see. And again, it's okay that we don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
That's life.
Hmm.
But having that comfort to be like, I love you for you. How do we step into the bumpiness and be okay that on this one we may never agree? And that's okay.
Beautifully said. You're right. All
Yeah.
right, Merri, MKG parent coach. If you are just tuning in, we're here joined live by her today, talking a little bit about friendship is one of those things, and conflict. I think comes in between that. Challenges, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
what else do we tell our friends, our children? Maybe why they should have friends. What's good about it, and maybe give us some tips too about how to even make friends, because some people may be socially awkward and don't understand that part. It's hard for them.
Yes. Yes. Oh, so true. And what if you've just moved to a new school or you're starting a new
Hmm.
sport or an activity? So the first thing I would guide in for parents to have these conversations and then model too, right? Is when you're hoping to meet new friends is for starters, be yourself. We forget, we like show up and we're like, oh, I get to be,
Hmm.
the best on the practice field. I get to be the most academic. No, just be yourself.
Yeah.
You will feel more authentic and genuine, and then people will show up and be with you because of who you are. Jill, I talk about this in every podcast, I think, that importance of listening. Listen to understand, not respond, fix, compare, judge. We really just want to listen. And when someone's telling you a really long story and you're like, oh, to the point, what I like to just mentally say
Hmm.
inside is, what am I listening for? What am I listening for? Am I listening to celebrate with this person? Am I listening to comfort this person? Am I listening to just come alongside and have that opportunity? What am I listening for? As a parent, sometimes we listen to catch our kids doing wrong and we want to remove that. We want to
True.
just be there.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Listen is, we say it so often. I just want to be a better listener, but it really does take practice. Just like being a good friend, it takes practice very much. Relationships are tricky and yeah.
Ooh, interesting. All right, good, good. What else did you have on tap about relationships with friendships, how to make friendships, and tips
Yeah.
and advice on supporting
Yeah.
friendships and the
Oh,
benefits?
thank you. Thank you. Yes. I also want to, another way of making new friends is give compliments. So great. Hey, I really love your sweater. Where'd you get it? Hey, I was thinking about getting those shoes too. I love them. Or you always make everyone laugh. I love your sense of humor. You hear where I'm going. I mean, it's just that opportunity, not always tangible things, but their physical character, their internal character, and giving compliments. And it's the
Yeah.
hardest for us to receive them.
Yeah.
It's so easy to give, but it's really hard to receive compliments. And that's the sign of being comfortable in your own skin to be like, really? You think I'm funny?
Aw.
Thanks. Thanks. I
Yeah, that's
appreciate that.
true.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Um, so it's building those conversations for families because I think friendship is something we just take for granted. Oh, well, you're going to go to school, you're going to make friends. And it is having conversations around, what qualities do you look for in a friend? Is it easy for you to make friends? Do you make them fast or does it seem to take longer? And then why is that? Great dinner conversations. Again, I use the car time as a great opportunity to have some of these conversations because our kiddos are in the car. They're not going to jump out of the car. It's
True.
that opportunity to, how are you showing up? What's happening? Yeah,
I
it's
like
fun.
that.
Friendships
And
are tricky, but also fun, right?
that's true. There could be ups and downs, but I also want to point out, I think in friendship, it's never going to be perfect. Like any relationship, there's going to be some rough patches, but it's important to work through them. You don't want to lose a friend over something so silly, and you look back years and you have all this regret.
Yeah,
I think it's happened to a lot of us, and you look back thinking we should have handled it differently. And
yeah.
yeah, that's important too.
Yeah. And Jill, I want to always remind parents that sometimes there are unhealthy friendships, right? So we want to encourage our kids to surround themselves with people that build them up, not pull them down, not take them
Hmm.
into an unhealthy, unsafe path. So a situation, gosh, I'm going to use my daughter again. She and I are out walking and we come across some friends. This, I think, was again middle school, early high school. And these friends, this one girl just runs up and, hey, how are you? How good to see you. And we had our dog with. So, of course, everybody loves the dog, right? And my daughter looks at her friend and she's like, I thought you weren't hanging out with them anymore. And her friend's like, why? What do you see? I mean, it was just her and her
Yeah.
friend because the others were, further back. And she goes, those friends aren't healthy for you.
I'm sorry. The national alert's happening. Are you
Oh,
getting it?
yeah. Beautiful. I knew it was happening.
Everyone said at 2 o'clock, and oh my gosh. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't matter if your phone's on silent, does it? Okay,
That's funny.
that's the alert. It's been on the news, right? Did you get it too?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, good. We're
It's right
alive.
in your ear.
That scared the heck out of me, to be honest, but okay.
Cool. Well, hopefully I can edit that
Oof.
part
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so back to these friends. It's just helping hold our kiddos accountable and giving them tools to surround themselves with people that build them up. I mean, there's so many different ways to say that. It's who is helping you be the best you. My son uses the phrase, I always want to hang out with kids who are taking me to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's a senior in college and he's still using that as I want to date someone who's helping me be the
Uh-huh.
best me. I want to surround myself. It's a good challenge. It's a good reminder too.
I like that. All right, what else did you have for friendship?
Yeah, so an activity. So this is a fun, I gave you a lot of conversation starters.
Mhm.
This one, grab a notepad, grab your device, whatever is easiest. And what I'm going to encourage kiddos to do is just start making a list of all their friends and name them out. I'm friends with Jill, I'm friends with Merri, I'm friends with, and then right beside their name, list where you met them.
Okay.
Okay. So it could be this kiddo is on my game platform, and this is how I know this kiddo. This kiddo I met at camp. This kiddo is in my math class. This kiddo. So my sports, my whatever. And then this is the more deeper part of the question is, what can you do to enhance that friendship? Enhance, what does it mean to just really deepen that friendship? What can we do? How can we? And this is not, I'm going to buy them something. I go back to, I'm going to be there with my friend. I'm going to support their sports event. Even though I don't even understand what their sport is, I'm going to go to their games. I'm going to go to their drama. Whatever it is, that's how you can enhance that friendship.
I like that way.
So it works for adults too.
Because
who's in our village of care for us? Who's in this? And how are we modeling those importance of healthy friendships? And just like we're inviting the kiddos, we want to do the same thing for us. Like, who was in your circle of care? Who can you lean on when things get hard? I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I can't get it all done. And you have a friend that's going to be like, well, let me come over and I'll bring dinner tonight. Let me come over and hang out with your kids. So, I mean, it's that kind of care that you add, because I love encouraging parents to, who are you putting in your kiddos' village? Who's in my village as a parent? Whose support can I lean on to?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, when we talk about that circle of support, is sometimes we really do need additional care. My kiddo has anxiety. My kiddo is struggling with whatever mental health concern. My kiddo can't take a break from devices, and I'm really worried about the addictive nature of screens. Make the circle bigger. Who's in your area that can be that mental health care? Who can you lean on for your care? And what I like to encourage is, when my kiddo is going through mental health care, that's a perfect time for a parent to get parent coaching. Because my kiddo is learning new skills and traits and challenges.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be working on things so that we can come together as a family. Then, wow, look at us all learning these new skills.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just ask you this. You've been a
Please.
parent coach for how long now?
Couple of years. And I've been doing parent education for many years.
Make us feel better that it doesn't happen overnight.
Oh my gosh. And no one's alone.
Someone listening saying, oh, I don't have it together, my kids. And yeah. The stress of that. I'm sure you hear that all the time.
Yes. Yeah. And Jill, someone will come to me with this situation. I'll be like, oh my gosh, you're the third parent today that told me this very similar story. One, our kids are changing minute by minute, right? Second by second. Their brains are developing on high speed. And we've not done this before. Have you ever parented an 8 and a 6-year-old before? Pretty sure this is your first step into it. So practicing grace, grace for yourself, grace for your family members. And it's okay to ask for a do-over. Hey, kiddo, that sentence just came out of my mouth, not the way I planned. I'm going to rewind, maybe even step out of the room and come back in. I'm going to try again, and have that opportunity to just do a do-over. We give our kids take two. Why wouldn't we want to do that for ourselves?
All right. Thank you for that. Makes us feel better. One's out there with the younger kids, and even younger kids are like, pulling their hair out. Okay.
Yeah. But middle school years, I would say the same. And the high school years, I would say the same, because there are so many different challenges that we walk into. So that's why I call on that circle of care. Who is in your circle of care? And then don't be afraid to ask for, I think I need more on this. That's where a parent coach comes in. Amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing.
All right. Well, what else should we talk about today, as far as maybe some guides for the students? You talk about activities and invite your kiddies where they could connect.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing I like to call out with friendships is diversify.
Okay.
So have that faith community group that you love to hang out with. Have that neighborhood group that you like to hang out with. Have, for us as adults, your work friends, or a kiddo as they move through their different, getting their first jobs. Have your sports friends. And then you have this, there might be overlap if you're in a smaller community, and there might be overlap, but then when you walk into any situation, wow, I know that Jill's going to be at this event, and sweet, I know I get to hang out with Jill. You hear where I'm going? I mean, it's just that opportunity to have multiple friendships and then have the balance too. Don't only have all your friends be online. Because, I met Jill at camp this last summer and I really connected with her, but she lives in another state, or she lives across town and I don't drive yet. So we want to have friends that are in person and friends that are online, not just one or the other. Especially our kiddos that love gaming. I hear a lot that kiddos who do gaming, that's their circle. Oh, those kids just get me and love it. We also want to encourage our kids to learn healthy eye contact when we get to be in person. Personal etiquette, I'm not going to eat with my mouth open in front of you. We're going to, just healthy, practical life skills, I guess. Yeah. Friends are so important. And I wish, there could just be a little formula and you do this and you'll have
that, right?
Yeah. But nothing is like that. Nothing in life. It's why we celebrate it too, though, because you know what? It's fun to make new friends. It's fun to be together with people and learn about them and support them and hope that they also support you.
Yeah. Oh, life. And then my heart goes out to those kids out there who don't have friends and know how to make friends. They're socially awkward. And how do you help you convince your friend, your child to be more outgoing, to reach out to these type of people in school, because it means so much. If you look back in childhood, I'm sure you can relate to some of your best friends from back then and what they did for you. And it's like every child should have that experience.
Yeah. And it's being okay with being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. That, you know what, somebody else might look really, let me rephrase that. A healthy way to be is, one, be comfortable in who you are. Just show up and be you. And if that means I'm going to help this kiddo carry his lunch today because he's on crutches or whatever. And my friends might be like, why are you helping him? Okay, well, that's who I am. I like to be a giver. I like to support people. And it's helping your kiddo just be okay being themselves.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many conversations. A great way to also talk about friendships is you're watching a show, you're reading a book, you see a TikTok, you see a video message, and then literally pause and be like, what went well in this situation? What didn't go well? What would you have done differently? And using those as those real life applications to help be like, oh, that's a great learning. Yep. And then you get to learn more about your kiddo too. Mm-hmm. Someone cuts you off in traffic and, do we just, oh, they must be in a bigger hurry than I am today, or the other things that can happen, right? And those are practical lessons that happen without us even realizing they're happening because our kids are always watching.
Very true. You got to remember that. And that's where everyone's learning from. They're learning from you as the parent. Mm-hmm. Be careful.
Well, and just be you. Just be you. Mm-hmm. And if you mess up, okay. Either apologize, move on, ask for a do-over, or this is who I am. That's okay. Okay.
And for those who are having trouble expanding their circle, how do you suggest they more outreach? Like I said, if they don't have a lot of friends, or the parents maybe speak another language and, there's not a lot of family around, how do you, I would recommend maybe going to the community of the library or a local church or whatever, worship, a place of worship. I mean, just trying to think of ideas how people can meet through the school, the PTA meetings.
Yes. You have great suggestions, and find out what your kid's interested in. Yeah. Maybe my kiddo is super interested in Legos. Okay, well, can we go to a Lego camp? Can we go to a store? Can we do community ed has classes that we can do some Lego engineering type things? I mean, whatever their interest is, we are blessed with a zillion and one ways of getting our kids connected. And whether it is, oh, hey, you're into poetry and there's an online poetry group. Mm-hmm. that can be their circle of friends. My hope is just always finding the balance of in-person and online friends. And us modeling. I love to read. I'm in multiple book clubs. Well, some are online and more are in person now, but that's where they were. I've done many online book clubs because of the fact that the author is jumping in, and now I get to be in with, hundreds of people versus my 6-8 people that we do in person. So just another way of having those friend circles.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. How did you want to kind of sum up for today?
Well, we get to meet once more. And next week, yes, me too, yay. Next week, we're going to talk about the acronym PAUSE. And we'll break that down really fast. I invite people to reach out. I am here to support you in your celebrations and in your parenting challenges. MKGparentcoach.com. Right on my website is a scheduling link. Love to hear and learn together, help you strategize. And then hopefully when we get together next week, you can see I have an online course that really breaks into the pause, and we'll talk more about that.
All right. Thank you so much, Merri. Always a pleasure seeing you. And thank you for joining us today with another great topic and awesome conversation about friendship.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.